to CNI. I am Shams Tahir Khan. From the Red Books of Crime Records, CNI brings to you those incidents which once rocked the country and shocked the people. It is said that marriages are made in heaven, but it does not seem true in this case. After 11 years of a love marriage, US returned software engineer Rajesh Gulati killed his wife, Anupma Gulati. What is more shocking is that he kept her body in a deep freezer in his own home, but not before chopping the body into 70 pieces. A gruesome act inspired by the Hollywood film Silence of the Lambs.
Through a common friend. और इसका 99 में हमारा शादी हुआ, इट वाज अ लव मैरिज। जो प्रॉब्लम्स होते थे कि आपने मुझे मौका नहीं आना कि घर पे बिठा दिया है, और मैं ऑफिस जाता था तो ऑफिस में फ़ोन करती थी और जोरों से चिल्लाती थी, मेरे दोस्तों को इन्वॉल्व करती थी कि इस इंसान ने मेरी ज़िंदगी बर्बाद कर दी। कोलकाता में आई फाउंड अ गर्ल। हम लोग ने मतलब एक रिचुअल किया, शादी किया, साथ में रहने लगे बच्चे के साथ। 20,000 से मैंने इनके अकाउंट में हर महीने डालना शुरू कर दिया। तो 17 तारीख को 17 अक्टूबर को जब ये इंसिडेंट हुआ, ठीक है, इन्होंने यही इशू उठाया कि 20,000 मेरे लिए काफ़ी नहीं है, तो मेरी पॉकेट मनी है, मेरे को और पैसा चाहिए। उन्होंने भी मुझ पर मतलब थोड़ा बहुत हाथ वाथ लगाया, तो मेरा भी हाथ लग गया, तो धक्का लग गया, तो वो गिरी और उनका सर बैठ के कॉर्नर पर लग गया, जिससे वो थोड़ी सी अनकॉन्शियस हुई। मैंने उनके मुंह में कॉटन डाला जिससे कि उनकी आवाज़ कम हो सके, तो इस वजह से उनका साम हो गया।
अफसोस यही है कि मतलब मेरे बच्चे अनाथ हो गए हैं। उनसे मैंने बेइंतहा मोहब्बत की थी एक टाइम पे, और हाँ, प्यार तो मरता नहीं है, it's always there.
It is hard to believe what Rajesh Gulati did to his wife. After all, Rajesh, an IIT graduate, had married Anupama in 1999, ending a long courtship. The couple also had twins, aged 4. Then what could have provoked Rajesh to kill Anupama in such a grisly manner? And how could Rajesh stay in the same house where he kept his wife's chopped body parts in a deep freezer for 57 days? He bathed, ate, and slept meters away from the deep freezer where he had hidden his horrible secret in 70 pieces. Govindgarh Colony, Dehradun, 12th December 2010. This was the house where software engineer Rajesh Gulati lived with his wife Anupama and 2 twin children. But Anupama was missing for the last 57 days. No one in the neighborhood saw her since the 17th of October 2010. She didn't even contact her family in Delhi. Whenever Anupama's family questioned Rajesh about her, he would give vague replies saying he was not aware about her whereabouts. Doubts about Anupama's safety kept on mounting. In the meantime, Rajesh told his children that their mother had gone to Delhi. However, Anupama's elder brother, Sujan Pradhan, who was based in Delhi, grew suspicious after repeated attempts to contact her turned futile. Finally, he arrived in Dehradun to inquire about his sister. Where was Anupama? Why didn't her husband Rajesh bother to search for her? Is he somehow involved in her disappearance? These were the questions which baffled Anupama's brother Sujan. He confronted Rajesh regarding her, but met with the same old reply that he didn't know anything about his sister's present location. Sujan insisted on going to the police station to file a missing persons report. Rajesh agreed to accompany him after much coercion, but just then, Sujan received an SMS on his mobile phone.
Brother, I've gone far away from your world. Please don't look for me.
Sujan was alarmed to receive the text message. He was perplexed as to how he could receive the SMS after all these weeks since her disappearance, and that too at the very moment when he was going to approach the police for help. He told Rajesh about the message, but his response made Sujan wary about his sister's safety. Sujan went straight to the police station in Dehradun. The police recorded a missing persons report and deliberated on the sequence of events. They decided to start the investigation from Rajesh Gulati's house in Govindgarh in Dehradun. The police found nothing suspicious in the initial examination inside the house. Rajesh and Anupama's children's behavior was found normal too. Everything looked just fine. The police decided to leave the house, but just then their attention was caught by a brand new deep freezer inside the house. Such commercial deep freezers were normally used in shops and hotels, but rarely in a person's home. The deep freezer was locked from the outside. Rajesh was nervous when the police inquired about the freezer. This led the police to suspect his conduct, and they asked him to open up the freezer. As soon as the door of the deep freezer was opened, a meaty smell filled the room. The police were startled by what they saw inside. There were multiple polythene bags which were filled, tied with strings and arranged neatly inside the freezer. The police opened one of the polythene bags. Inside were pieces of frozen meat. They switched off the freezer and defrosted the packs. Prima facie, the meat seemed to be chopped pieces of a human body. Rajesh Gulati's horrible secret in the deep freezer was out now.
17th को फिर जब वो अनकॉन्शियस हो गई नीचे गिर गई तो आई वॉज स्केयर्ड कि मतलब अगर मेरे को कुछ हो गया तो इन बच्चों को कौन संभालेगा। हाँ, तो दैट वाज माय स्टेट ऑफ माइंड। तो उसमें फिर जो होना था वो हो गया।
The police cracked the case promptly. It was Rajesh Gulati who had chopped his wife Anupama's body into 70 pieces and packed them in multiple polythene bags. He then stored them in that deep freezer, which he bought exclusively for that ghastly purpose. Govindgarh Colony, Dehradun, 17th October 2010. It was on this date that Rajesh Gulati murdered his wife Anupama. 57 days before her remains were discovered in that deep freezer. On that fateful day, the couple had a bitter fight. It led Rajesh to slap Anupama in a fit of rage. She lost her balance and hit her head on the corner of her bed, losing consciousness instantly. A jittery Rajesh, thinking that his wife, after regaining consciousness, would report the matter to the police, decided to end her life then and there. So he throttled her by thrusting cotton into her nose and mouth before using a pillar to smother her to death.
जब वो बेहोश हो गई नीचे तो मुझे पता था कि अगर ये उठ गई तो हमारे फैमिली में कुछ ऐसा हो जाएगा कि बच्चों की ज़िंदगी बर्बाद हो जाएगी। ठीक है, तो मैं डर गया। मैंने उनके मुंह में कॉटन डाला जिससे कि उनकी आवाज़ कम हो सके, तो इस वजह से उनका सांस रुक गया।
Rajesh carried Anupama's lifeless body into the bathroom and hid it there for 2 days. In the meantime, he kept wondering about ways to dispose of the body. He had little time on his hands as the body would soon start decomposing and fill the house with its foul smell. Soon he came up with a new idea. That's when he decided he would need a deep freezer.
वो मेरे से मशीन देख गए थे। उन्होंने मेरे से कहा था कि उन्हें लकड़ी काटनी है, थोड़ी मोटी लकड़ी है, इसलिए वो मेरे से 7 इंचेस की वुड कटर देख के ले गए थे। उन्होंने मुझसे पैक करवा के रखी थी वो, पर उसके बाद वो उस टाइम मेरे से लेने नहीं आए थे, बाद में लेने आए थे उसे।
Rajesh Gulati then stuffed Anupama's body into a black bag and put it in his new freezer. The next day, he went to a hardware store on Raja Road in Dehradun and procured an iron cutting saw, an electric stone cutter and a hammer. But Rajesh could not carry out his next plan of action because his children were at home. 5 days passed by. The body remained in the deep freezer, lifeless, intact, and locked away.
When Rajesh Gulati's 2 children resumed school after 5 days since he bought the deep freezer, he had enough time and freedom to carry out his grisly plan. He brought out Anupma's body from the freezer and placed it in the bathroom. There he started chopping the body into pieces. He began with the limbs and hands. He would then put the chopped pieces into polythene bags and keep them in the freezer. This ritual went on for days.
Rajesh Gulati's macabre ritual went on for 2 weeks, in fact. He would religiously drop his kids to school, come back home, and start chopping his wife Anupama's body into little pieces. By the end of 2 weeks, he had chopped her body into 70 pieces and put them all in separate polythene bags. During this whole period, he would never let his kids into the bathroom. In fact, he bathed them outside. On Sundays, he would take his children for a drive, but he would also take 1 or 2 polythene bags with him and dispose them off on lonely stretches along the Dehradun-Mussoorie road. This routine of disposing the chopped pieces of Anupama went on till the 11th of December 2010. But Rajesh Gulati could not dispose of all the polythene bags that contained 70 pieces of his wife's body. For 57 days, many of the polythene bags containing the chopped pieces remained in the deep freezer. Rajesh tried to act as normal as possible during this period. He would eat and sleep with the children, and when they asked him about their mother, he would lie to them saying that she was in Delhi with her parents on some work and would return shortly.
Films are a reflection of a society. But in Anupma Gulati's murder case, it was exactly the opposite. Rajesh got the inspiration to chop off his wife's body from the film Silence of the Lambs. But the idea of keeping the pieces in a deep freezer in his home was his own. On many Sundays, he would throw parts of his wife's body into deep gorges and jungles.
This is the film that made Rajesh Gulati a heartless butcher. According to Dehradun police, Rajesh borrowed the idea of chopping down his wife's body into pieces from the film Silence of the Lambs.
Lester's missing hand arm.
Man's a raving maniac. Who knows what he'll do?
Police sleuths recovered this film from the hard disk of his laptop. The film was based on a psychopathic killer who would kidnap and kill female victims. Some parts of the film were eerily similar to the Anupama Gulati murder case.
Why did Rajesh Gulati kill his wife? That is the biggest question. And why did he chop her body into 70 pieces? He could have disposed her whole body instead of doing it in small batches. Then why didn't he do it? There must be a story behind this. And to know that story, we have to go back 17 years.
October 1999, Netaji Nagar, Delhi. It was in October 1999 that Rajesh Gulati married Anupama Pradhan in Delhi after a long courtship. This is the marriage video of the couple. In those days, they stayed in Delhi. Later, when Anupama finished her MCA degree, both of them went to the United States. Rajesh Gulati later claimed that their relationship started to sour in America.
जो प्रॉब्लम्स होते थे कि आपने मुझे नौकरानी बना के घर पे बिठा दिया है और मैं ऑफिस जाता था तो ऑफिस में फ़ोन करती थी और जोर जोर से चिल्लाती थी, मेरे दोस्तों को इन्वॉल्व करती थी कि इस इंसान ने मेरी ज़िंदगी बर्बाद कर दिया.
They came back from the US in 2006 and Rajesh left for Kolkata where he had got a job. Anupama stayed in Delhi and the twins were born that same year. But for Rajesh, a new story developed in Kolkata. There he met and married Jhuma Datta, a divorcee.
कोलकाता में आई फाउंड अ गर्ल, तो उसके बाद फिर हम लोग ने डिसाइड किया कि विल डू अ स्मॉल रिचुअल, ठीक है, जिसमें मतलब पब्लिक को दिखाने के लिए कि मतलब वी आर गेटिंग मैरिड सो दैट वी कैन स्टिल लिव टुगेदर एंड पीपल वोंट बी पॉइंटिंग फिंगर्स एट अस.
After Rajesh returned from Kolkata, they moved base to Dehradun in June 2008 where he got a job. Rajesh and Anupama tried to start a new life together in Dehradun, but gradually their relationship went from bad to worse. Rajesh later claimed that Anupama would often vent her anger out on the children. Their constant quarrels and fights reached a point of no return when Anupama filed a domestic violence case against her husband Rajesh. This increased the animosity between them. It was later decided that Rajesh would pay a monthly interim maintenance of 20,000 rupees to Anupama. But according to Rajesh, Anupama started to demand more money after 6 months of the arrangement.
20,000 फिर मैंने इनके अकाउंट में हर महीने डालना शुरू कर दिया. तो 17 अक्टूबर को जब ये इंसिडेंट हुआ, ठीक है, इन्होंने यही इशू उठाया कि 20,000 मेरे लिए काफ़ी नहीं है, तो मेरी पॉकेट मनी है, मेरे को और पैसा चाहिए.
17th October 2010, Govindgarh, Dehradun. On that fateful day of the 17th of October 2010, a bitter quarrel broke out between Rajesh and Anupama. It also proved to be their last quarrel. Rajesh soon lost his cool and in a fit of rage murdered Anupama, which led to the events thereafter that shook not only Dehradun but all of India as well. Rajesh Gulati, who murdered his wife Anupama and chopped her body into 70 pieces, later claimed that he still loved her. When India Today asked him how he could kill his wife, whom he had married after such a long courtship, who gave birth to his children and who stayed with him despite his second marriage in Kolkata, this was his reply.
हाँ, उनसे मैंने बेइंतहा मोहब्बत की थी एक टाइम पे, और हाँ, प्यार तो मरता नहीं है, it's always there.
He accepted that he loved Anupama madly, but also added that he loved her at some time in the past. The killer, Rajesh Gulati, didn't show any remorse about what he had done to his wife Anupama. When India Today asked him if he regretted his grisly act, here's what he had to say.
अफसोस यही है कि मतलब मेरे बच्चे अनाथ हो गए हैं.
On the 12th of December 2015, the sensational case completed 5 years. 42 witnesses were examined till that date. The last witness was examined on the 8th of January 2016. ACJM Naseem Ahmed was the last witness to be examined. It was ACJM Naseem Ahmed who recorded statements of the twins. The decision of the lower court is yet to come. Rajesh Gulati is lodged in Dehradun jail. The twins live with their maternal uncle Sujan Pradhan. They are 10 years old now.
The real victims in the Anupama Gulati murder case are the twin children who lost both their parents in one twist of fate. Will they ever be able to forgive their father for the gruesome murder of their mother? Only time will tell. Meanwhile, all eyes are on the Dehradun District Court to give its verdict on the case. CNI will be back next week on the same channel at the same time with another crime story which once took the country by storm. Till then, keep watching India Today.